Hi everyone, this is Perfume Coast, so welcome to my channel. Today's podcast is all about the note of strawberry, so without further ado, let's jump into the ocean of perfumes. But I'd like to start with a perfume that's quite popular in the fragrance community up to date, despite being released last year in 2024, and this one is no other than Miss Dior Parfum by Dior. And let's get reminded of the notes that this popular one is having. So on the top we've got peach, apricot, mandarin orange. In the middle there's wild strawberry, floral notes and jasmine. And finally in the base there's patchouli, amberwood, amber, moss and atlas cedar. To start off, this one is slightly different up close from its own self in the air. Up close it's very patchouli forward. I can literally smell this highly powdery, a bit dusty dimension. And along with that there's obviously this red berry general vibe. In the air, however, this scent is something quite different. And specifically, it gives off this spitting image of sweet, slightly tart wild strawberry that's so realistic and delicious. And wild strawberry in itself is quite different from regular strawberry, of course. To my nose, it's more delicate, has this subtle green undertone, and the kind of sweetness it has is of this slightly spicy nature. And that's exactly what this fragrance delivers in abundance. This imagery of our ornate basket, if you will, full of freshly picked wild strawberry, picked nearby some woods perhaps. And some of berries still retain these green parts around. But I also have to say that this imagery has been given a special attention perhaps, at least as far as the intricate details are concerned. Many compare this release with Dior Cherie, which I indeed remember having drawn me instantly, but unfortunately I do not really remember exactly what it was like. But as the scent dries down, it gets a bit more of reconciliation between what it is on skin up close and in the air. And what I mean by this is that patchouli starts to step back a bit, giving way to our most realistic wild strawberry. So next up we've got another beautiful release by the house Burberry, and this one is called Burberry Her Intense. So let's have a look at the notes that this one's having. According to Fragrantica, it's quite simply 3 notes. So on the top we've got wild strawberry, in the middle there's orange blossom, and finally in the base there's ambroxan. So this one is yet another beautiful wild strawberry forward release. It's beautifully linear and consistent from start to finish. So this wild strawberry, different to Miss Dior release, doesn't really have patchouli-like elements. But what it has is this slightly powdery, fluffy, wild strawberry impression. It's almost cloud-like and ethereal due to a presence of ambroxan. By the way, I mentioned clean, but this clean is not soapy at all, but rather hinting at gourmand territory, never really becoming one. So it's beautiful, clean and fluffy, slightly sweet, slightly tart impression of a wild strawberry. Like many other strawberry-forward fragrances, to me it's feminine leaning, but hey, that's always a personal choice and a matter of opinion at the end of the day. By the way, I just love this fragrance, and to me it's a lot more beautiful and elegant compared to its predecessor Burberry Her Elixir, by the way, which to me is a lot more synthetic and a bit dirty version of Burberry Her. So next up is a very similar looking bottle, but quite a different scent. This one is released by Kayali, and this one is no other than Boujee Marshmallow. So this one is also quite popular in the fragrance community, but let's get reminded of the notes. So on the top we've got freesia, Italian lemon, nectarine blossom and apple. In the middle there's marshmallow, strawberry, coconut and orange blossom. And finally in the base there's whipped cream, sugar, vanilla, musk, raspberry and ambroxan. So this one, as the name suggests, is straight up gourmand. Strangely, to me, it belongs to the same family as Burberry Her Intense. But the difference is that here we've got this distinct lactonic accord that's creamy and thick, which in its turn instantly makes the fragrance a lot sweeter. And sweetness is also contributed by a note of marshmallow, obviously. But the amazing thing is that despite utter creaminess and sweetness, this perfume never gets a heavy bat, remaining the sweet, strawberry-forward lactonic but extremely fluffy and whipped impression. No wonder to me the association, the associated imagery would be this well-whipped strawberry milkshake that's very desserty, but fluffily so, if I may say. Of course, another impression would be, as the name suggests, this first sugar powder blast when one opens a bag of sweet strawberry marshmallows. This scent is really easy to understand and easy to like, which certainly makes it quite mass appealing perhaps, but at the same time it doesn't take away from its uniqueness, fun and cheeky nature. Next up we've got another, I thought, underrated release, which is called Redberry's Elixir, and it's by the house which is in fact quite hard to pronounce. It's Les Soeurs de Nuit. So this one has a cluster of notes according to Fragrantica, and what it is ambroxan, strawberry syrup, white musk, meringue, red currant, barberry, cherry, tonka bean and pink pepper. So this one to me, strangely enough, reminds me a bit of Miss Dior, the way it's been constructed. Because I definitely detect the likes of patchouli, especially in the opening. But then I realize that it's probably ambroxan that does it. In this case, ambroxan creates sort of powdery dimension that eventually serves as sweetness amplifier as well. But because it's not patchouli, our ambroxan, along with powderiness, creates this fluffy quality. And this quality is quite unique. As this fragrance develops, fruity fluffiness sort of takes over and transfers the whole composition straight to a shampooy laundry detergent-like clean territory. As if you take that strawberry destination train and it bypasses all the gourmand station, heading straight away to its final destination, being clean strawberry stop. So if you fancy smelling like your expensive strawberry shampoo or strawberry fabric softener or the likes, this could be a perfect match for you. I use this fragrance personally whenever I do not feel like wearing any heavy perfumes or, sometimes as out of the shower or my gym fragrance. It's quite long-lasting also, but not at all commanding. So a big recommendation from me to test out this very underrated fragrance that's quite pricey though. So, and the final fragrance for today's podcast would be a release of the house BDK, which is called Citrus Riviera. Used to be popular, not anymore unfortunately, but let's get reminded of the notes for this reason. So according to Fragrantica, on the top we've got Italian lemon, neroli, Italian mandarin and fig. In the middle there's watery notes, green accord, eucalyptus, orange blossom, strawberry, immortelle and jasmine. And finally in the base there's Haitian vetiver, white musk, tonka bean and Indonesian patchouli leaf. So this one is certainly a standout in the whole lineup, because strawberry note here serves as equal partner. Plus, it's embedded into quite a different scent profile that's not gourmand or even gourmandesque, but rather a fougere fraîche, I would say. This one starts off with bright, slightly ozonic citrus. This citrus is juicy and sparkly, but it's also empowered by quite a strong fougere accord consisting of green notes and eucalyptus. And I can definitely detect loads of eucalyptus. Plus, this fragrance is also grounded by quite a masculine-leaning base consisting of patchouli and vetiver. And so it would have remained, basically, this masculine-leaning classic fougere with citrusy opening and vetiver-heavy base, but there is this but, namely strawberry presence. And you can really detect this fruity strawberry aura that's not at all out of tune here, though. One may think, how on earth can strawberry live along with fougere profile? Maybe it's not detectable, maybe it's silent. Well, not at all the case here. Again, strawberry note cooperates nicely with our citrusy fougere, in exchange giving this fragrance a bit of fruity quality and also a bit of sweetness. Let alone that because of strawberry presence, this fragrance is very unisex and versatile as far as its occasion and season is concerned. And another interesting thing is that neither fougere nor fruity parts really take over in this fragrance, which is a great thing to have in fact. As all accords across all the fragrance lifetime, I can distinctly smell citrus, eucalyptus and juicy strawberry on their own. But at the same time, being equal players, they nonetheless manage somehow to form this beautiful and unique composition. Once again, big recommendation to put your nose on this unique and in many ways underrated release of BDK. But that's it, guys. This wraps up the video for today. If you've liked this podcast, please give it a like. Please consider subscribing and sharing your comments. Thank you very much for watching, and I hope to see you on the next one. Bye-bye.